Most people believe their heart simply gets weaker with age. They assume that feeling tired, short of breath, dizzy, or slow after 60 is just a normal part of getting older. But what if the real problem is not aging itself? What if the biggest danger to your heart every morning is something millions of seniors do without even realizing it? Every single day, right after waking up, your body enters one of the most critical periods for cardiovascular health. Your blood pressure rises rapidly, your heart rate changes, stress hormones surge. Blood becomes slightly thicker after hours of sleep and dehydration. This is why doctors often notice that many heart attacks and strokes happen in the early morning hours. Yet almost nobody talks about the one simple thing your heart desperately needs during this vulnerable moment. And the truth may surprise you, because it is not an expensive supplement, a complicated workout, or some miracle cure advertised online. In fact, the healthiest hearts often depend on very small morning habits repeated consistently over time. As we age, the heart goes through subtle changes that most people never notice until symptoms appear. Arteries become less flexible. Blood vessels lose elasticity. The heart muscle may need to work harder to pump blood throughout the body. Years of stress, poor sleep, processed food, inactivity, dehydration, and hidden inflammation slowly build pressure inside the cardiovascular system. The scary part is that these changes often happen silently. Many people feel perfectly normal until one morning something suddenly goes wrong. That is why understanding what your heart truly needs after 60 is so important, because prevention is far more powerful than recovery. Imagine two people in their late 60s. Both wake up around the same time every morning. One immediately grabs their phone, drinks coffee on an empty stomach, sits for hours, and ignores the warning signs their body gives them. The other follows one simple heart-supporting routine every single morning before doing anything else. 10 years later, their health outcomes may look completely different. One struggles with fatigue, blood pressure spikes, poor circulation, and medications. The other remains active, mentally sharp, energetic, and independent. The difference often comes down to small daily actions that either support the heart or slowly damage it. One of the biggest mistakes seniors make after 60 is starting the morning in a stressed state. The moment many people wake up, their brain is flooded with worries. Bills, family problems, health fears, bad news, and endless scrolling immediately trigger stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones are not always harmful in short bursts, but chronic morning stress can quietly raise blood pressure and force the heart to work harder every single day. Over time, this constant pressure may damage delicate blood vessels and increase the risk of heart disease. What makes this even more dangerous is that stress does not always feel dramatic. Sometimes it simply feels like rushing through the morning, skipping breakfast, sleeping poorly, or carrying silent anxiety that never fully goes away. Your heart after 60 needs calm before chaos. It needs circulation before stimulation. It needs hydration before caffeine. Yet millions of people do the exact opposite every morning. They shock the body awake instead of supporting it gently, and unfortunately, the heart pays the price. One of the most powerful things your heart needs every morning is proper hydration. During sleep, the body naturally loses water through breathing and sweating. After 7 or 8 hours without fluids, blood can become slightly more concentrated. This forces the heart to pump harder to move blood through narrowed or aging arteries. Even mild dehydration may contribute to dizziness, fatigue, headaches, and blood pressure fluctuations in older adults. That is why many cardiologists encourage seniors to begin the morning with water before coffee or sugary drinks. Something as simple as a glass of water after waking up can help support circulation and reduce unnecessary strain on the heart. But hydration alone is not enough. Your heart also needs movement. Not intense movement, not exhausting exercise, just gentle circulation. One reason morning walks are so powerful for seniors is because they gradually wake up the cardiovascular system. Blood flow improves, oxygen delivery increases, muscles activate, arteries expand more naturally. Even 5 to 10 minutes of light movement can make a major difference over time. Compare this to sitting motionless for hours after waking up. The body becomes sluggish, blood flow slows, stiffness increases. The cardiovascular system remains under unnecessary pressure. Another overlooked issue after 60 is poor sleep quality. Many people sleep with stress, wake up repeatedly during the night, or suffer from conditions like sleep apnea without knowing it. This matters because poor sleep places enormous strain on the heart. In fact, interrupted breathing during sleep can reduce oxygen levels and increase cardiovascular stress throughout the night. Then the morning arrives, and the heart is already exhausted before the day even begins. This is why seniors who wake up tired every morning should never ignore the possibility that their sleep may be affecting their heart health. Food also plays a massive role in how the heart functions after 60. Unfortunately, many breakfast foods marketed as healthy are loaded with sugar, sodium, and processed ingredients that may quietly damage cardiovascular health over time. Sugary cereals, pastries, processed meats, and heavily salted foods can contribute to inflammation, blood pressure spikes, and artery damage. On the other hand, simple heart-friendly foods like oats, berries, nuts, seeds, yogurt, eggs, and fresh fruit may help support circulation and energy levels more effectively. The goal is not perfection. The goal is consistency. Small choices repeated daily become powerful over the years. Perhaps the most dangerous misconception about aging is the belief that decline is unavoidable. While aging is natural, many heart problems are heavily influenced by lifestyle patterns. The body constantly responds to what we repeatedly do every morning. Every meal, every habit, every stressful reaction, every hour of inactivity sends signals throughout the cardiovascular system. Your heart is always listening to how you live. And here is what makes this even more important. The early signs of heart trouble are often incredibly easy to miss. Many seniors ignore symptoms because they seem minor at first. Slight fatigue, mild chest pressure, shortness of breath while walking, swollen feet, dizziness after standing, needing extra rest, feeling unusually weak in the morning. These signs may appear slowly, making them easy to dismiss, but sometimes they are the body's quiet warnings before a more serious event occurs. What makes heart disease especially dangerous after 60 is that it rarely appears overnight. Most cardiovascular damage develops silently over many years. Tiny habits that seem harmless in your 40s or 50s can slowly become major problems later in life. This is why some people are shocked when they suddenly experience a heart attack, despite feeling relatively healthy the day before. The body often gives subtle warnings long before a crisis happens, but many people either overlook them or misunderstand them completely. One of the clearest examples of this is morning fatigue. Many seniors wake up exhausted and assume poor energy is simply part of aging. But persistent morning fatigue may sometimes signal that the heart is struggling to deliver oxygen-rich blood efficiently throughout the body. When circulation becomes weaker, muscles and organs may not receive the support they need. The result can feel like heaviness, weakness, brain fog, or a constant lack of motivation. Unfortunately, because these symptoms appear gradually, people adapt to them instead of investigating the cause. Your heart after 60 does not just need medication or medical appointments. It needs daily protection from hidden stressors that slowly damage the cardiovascular system. One of the biggest hidden stressors is inflammation. Most people hear the word inflammation and think only about pain or swelling. But chronic internal inflammation can quietly damage blood vessels from the inside. Over time, this may contribute to plaque buildup inside arteries, increasing the risk of strokes and heart attacks. Processed foods, excessive sugar, smoking, poor sleep, stress, inactivity, and obesity can all fuel inflammation without obvious symptoms in the beginning. This is where morning habits become incredibly important. The first hour after waking up often influences the body's stress response for the entire day. A chaotic morning can push blood pressure higher and keep the nervous system in a constant state of tension. A calm morning routine, on the other hand, may help stabilize the body more naturally. This does not mean life must become perfect or stress-free. It simply means giving your heart a healthier start before the demands of the day begin. Many people after 60 unknowingly overload their heart every morning with one dangerous combination: dehydration, caffeine, stress, and inactivity. Imagine waking up dehydrated after a night of sleep, immediately drinking strong coffee, checking stressful news, and sitting for hours without movement. The cardiovascular system experiences an intense spike in stimulation, while circulation remains sluggish. Over months and years, this pattern can place enormous strain on aging arteries and blood vessels. Now, compare that to a different morning. You wake up calmly, drink water first, open the curtains and expose yourself to natural light, take a short walk or stretch gently, eat a simple heart-friendly breakfast, breathe slowly instead of rushing. The difference may seem small in the moment, but repeated daily, these actions create a completely different environment inside the body. Your heart responds to routines more than occasional extreme efforts. Another major issue after 60 is circulation decline. Blood vessels naturally become less flexible with age, which means circulation may not work as efficiently as it once did. Poor circulation can contribute to cold hands and feet, numbness, muscle weakness, fatigue, and even slower healing. Morning movement helps because muscles act like pumps that assist blood flow throughout the body. Even light walking can improve oxygen delivery and support healthier circulation patterns. Yet many seniors remain inactive for most of the morning without realizing how harmful prolonged sitting can become. There is also an emotional side to heart health that many people ignore. Loneliness, grief, chronic anxiety, and emotional stress can affect the cardiovascular system more deeply than most realize. Research has repeatedly shown links between chronic stress and increased heart disease risk. The heart is not only influenced by food and exercise. It is also influenced by emotional patterns that continue day after day. This is why some seniors who appear physically healthy still struggle with cardiovascular problems, while others remain surprisingly resilient. Emotional health matters more than many people think. One dangerous mistake many people make after 60 is waiting for dramatic symptoms before taking heart health seriously. They assume that if there is no severe chest pain, everything must be fine. But heart problems often begin quietly. Some people experience jaw discomfort, unusual sweating, nausea, dizziness, back pain, or unexplained fatigue instead of classic chest pain. Women especially may experience different warning signs that are easier to overlook. This is why paying attention to subtle changes in the body becomes critical with age. Your heart also needs better recovery after 60. Many people continue living with constant stress and exhaustion without giving the body enough time to heal. Sleep becomes shorter, physical activity decreases, meals become less nutritious, water intake drops. Over time, the cardiovascular system becomes overwhelmed by accumulated strain. Recovery is not laziness, it is biological maintenance. The body repairs itself during rest, especially during quality sleep. When recovery disappears, damage accumulates faster than repair. Another reason mornings matter so much is because blood pressure naturally rises shortly after waking. This is called the morning blood pressure surge. In healthy individuals, this increase is usually manageable, but in people with hypertension or stiffened arteries, the morning surge can become more dangerous. This helps explain why cardiovascular events often occur early in the day. Supporting the body gently during this period may help reduce unnecessary strain on the heart. Even breathing patterns can affect cardiovascular health. Many people breathe shallowly when stressed, anxious, or sleep-deprived. Shallow breathing may increase tension inside the body and reduce relaxation signals that help regulate heart function. Slow, deep breathing in the morning can help activate the parasympathetic nervous system, sometimes called the body's calming system. This may help support healthier blood pressure and reduce stress on the heart. One of the most powerful truths about aging is that the body is always adapting to repeated behaviors. Your heart does not judge your age alone, it responds to patterns. A 65-year-old who hydrates properly, moves daily, sleeps well, manages stress, and eats reasonably balanced meals may have far better cardiovascular function than someone 20 years younger with destructive habits. Genetics matter, but lifestyle patterns still play a massive role in long-term health outcomes. The problem is that modern life constantly pushes people away from healthy cardiovascular habits. Screens replace movement. Processed foods replace natural meals. Stress replaces calm. Isolation replaces connection. Many people live in a constant state of low-level survival mode without realizing how deeply it affects the heart. That is why protecting your cardiovascular health after 60 is not about chasing perfection. It is about reducing avoidable damage while supporting the body consistently. And perhaps the most hopeful part of all this is that the heart can often respond surprisingly well to healthier habits, even later in life. Many seniors who improve hydration, sleep, movement, nutrition, and stress management notice significant improvements in energy, circulation, and overall well-being within weeks or months. The body may age, but it still has remarkable abilities to adapt and heal when given the right support. One of the greatest mistakes people make after 60 is believing it is too late to change. They think the damage has already been done. The arteries are already aging, the blood pressure is already high, and nothing can truly improve anymore. But the human body is far more responsive than most people realize. While no one can completely stop aging, many cardiovascular risks can still be influenced by what happens every single morning. Small habits repeated consistently have the power to either strengthen the body slowly or weaken it silently over time. Think about how many mornings the average person experiences after 60. Thousands of opportunities to either support the heart or place more pressure on it. This is why routines matter so much. Your heart responds less to occasional healthy choices and more to long-term patterns. A single healthy breakfast will not transform cardiovascular health overnight, but years of healthier mornings can dramatically change how the body functions later in life. One powerful habit many healthy seniors share is consistency. They do not wait until they feel terrible before taking care of themselves. They create stable routines that protect the body before major symptoms appear. This often includes waking up at regular times, staying hydrated, moving gently every day, managing stress, avoiding excessive processed foods, and protecting sleep quality. None of these habits are glamorous. None of them look dramatic on social media. Yet they often create stronger long-term results than extreme diets or short-term health trends. Many people after 60 also underestimate the importance of muscle health for heart health. As muscle mass decreases with age, metabolism slows and circulation may worsen. Physical weakness can also reduce overall activity levels, creating a dangerous cycle of inactivity. The less people move, the weaker the body becomes. The weaker the body becomes, the harder movement feels. This is why even simple morning movement matters so much. Walking, stretching, light resistance exercises, or balance activities can help maintain circulation, mobility, and cardiovascular support. There is another hidden danger many seniors face every morning: isolation. Some people wake up feeling emotionally disconnected, lonely, or hopeless without talking about it. Chronic loneliness can quietly increase stress hormones and negatively affect heart health over time. Human beings are biologically designed for connection. Emotional isolation may contribute to depression, poor sleep, unhealthy eating habits, and reduced motivation for self-care. This is why social interaction, purpose, and emotional support are often just as important as physical habits when it comes to long-term wellness. Another important factor is sunlight exposure. Morning sunlight helps regulate the body's internal clock, also known as the circadian rhythm. When this rhythm becomes disrupted, sleep quality, hormone balance, and stress regulation may suffer. Spending a few minutes outside in natural morning light can help support healthier sleep patterns later at night, which indirectly benefits the heart. Many seniors spend most of their mornings indoors under artificial light, disconnected from natural body rhythms that help regulate overall health. One reason so many people struggle with cardiovascular problems today is because modern lifestyles constantly fight against the body's natural design. The human body was built for movement, daylight, recovery, hydration, and balanced nutrition. Instead, many people live under chronic stress, sit for long periods, eat heavily processed foods, sleep poorly, and rarely slow down mentally. The heart adapts to whatever environment it repeatedly experiences. If that environment is filled with tension and neglect, problems slowly develop beneath the surface. This is why prevention matters so much more than emergency treatment. Once arteries become severely blocked or major heart damage occurs, recovery becomes far more difficult. Protecting the heart early is one of the greatest investments people can make in their future independence and quality of life. Because after 60, health affects everything. It affects energy levels, memory, mobility, confidence, sleep, relationships, and the ability to enjoy daily life. Perhaps the most important lesson is this: your heart needs support every morning, not punishment. Many people treat their bodies harshly. They criticize themselves constantly, ignore warning signs, skip rest, and live under endless stress. But the body responds better to support than to punishment. Small supportive habits create stability inside the cardiovascular system. They reduce unnecessary strain and help the body function more efficiently over time. It is also important to understand that no single food, supplement, or routine can guarantee perfect heart health. Anyone promising miracle cures is often oversimplifying a very complex system. Real cardiovascular protection usually comes from combining multiple healthy habits consistently over many years. Hydration helps, movement helps, sleep helps, stress management helps, nutritious food helps, medical care helps. Together, these habits create an environment where the heart can function more effectively. And that brings us back to the simple truth many people overlook every day. Your heart after 60 needs calm before stress, water before caffeine, movement before sitting, awareness before symptoms become emergencies. The small choices made during the first hour of the morning may influence the entire day inside the body. Most people never think about this until something goes wrong. But those who understand it early often place themselves in a far better position later in life. Imagine waking up tomorrow and treating your heart differently, not with fear, but with intention. Drinking water first instead of immediately reaching for caffeine. Taking a short walk instead of sitting for hours. Breathing slowly instead of rushing into stress. Choosing foods that nourish the body instead of inflaming it. Listening to early warning signs instead of ignoring them. These actions may seem simple, but the heart often responds powerfully to consistency. Aging is inevitable, but unnecessary damage is not always inevitable. Every morning becomes another chance to either help or harm the cardiovascular system. And while many people spend years searching for complicated solutions, the real answer is often hidden inside simple daily habits, repeated long enough to matter. Your heart has worked for you every second of your life without resting once. After 60, perhaps the most important question is whether you are finally giving it the support it truly needs.